and can be a menace in that laning phase. So I like this from IG.
10
It's a bit of
seconds
a shakeup
remaining.
for them. I say a bit, but you know their draft definitely looks very
5
different
seconds
from the
remaining.
rest of the series so far. CDEC, you gotta wonder, are they gonna go for that fast push once more? They have the Shaman up. Surely you could build off the back of that for more push.
Well, you've got so much up. I think right now, if you did want to just run that, just go for the Beastmaster third pick. I mean, they're not going to pick a Lycan on the side of IG as their fourth to try and deny you. I mean, they could. It probably wouldn't work out very well, but they could. So go for the Tiny for now. So you've got some great roam potential, but it looks like it's going to be a core Tiny anyway. Obviously, you still have the option for the core Ogre if you so wish. And the draft still remains very open for them. If they wish to go down another route, or they wish to go down the same route we were just talking about. I can't really see why you wouldn't. I mean, the Earthshaker is problematic for those big kind of push lineups because, you know, you just give him so much to Echo Slam. But then he's going to catch you doing it. And as we saw last game, they just couldn't catch anyone doing anything because they were just splitting up 3 lanes. It seems as though CDEC is not going to do it again, though. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from this draft. It just doesn't seem like they're going to try for the second time in a row. Rather, they will just go down a different route.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I think it would have worked out fine here. I am a bit worried with that Tiny pick. You pick Tiny into Morphling, that makes it so much easier for him. He can morph into Tiny. He's very effective in that form as well. You've got 2 forms to play with now as the Morphling. Going to be interesting to see which one is prioritized. Of course, you're probably going to prioritize the Shaker. Just pure raw damage in that one shift out. Very high. Ooh, that's a hero we don't see too often. Clockwork does come out for IG. I'm actually not 100% sure why in this case. You don't really have anyone to scout out. Nothing like a Tinker, keep tabs on, or some such. But you have the Clockwork now. Really long range initiation.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm wondering, is this going to be a support or a core? Are we going to be seeing Core Shaker come out pause 4 o'clock? Or is it going to be the Shaker in that support? And CDEC, they go into the Lycan. So, interesting. They do end up going back there for that push. I mean, why not, right? It worked well for you in game 2. You didn't see any issues. Might as well go for it again. You have a Shaman to back you up in that push. The Clockwork can kind of trap you in if he hook shots you and somehow cogs you, I guess. It's not the most it's not the most consistent thing to do. Especially if you're moving a lot and you have to get that jump on the Lycan first somehow and then follow up. Unless he really just stands still. So it's going to be interesting. You have the Lich that can cause issues for Lycan and his minions as well.
Radiant team pick.
Beastmaster for CDEC? I mean, the Leshrac ban was there. That's no, they go the TA. No, fair enough. I mean, I thought they would just run the mid Tiny. It looks like they might just run the off Tiny and just have the TA instead. Still works very well. You get a Desolate, you get a Blink, and suddenly you're a powerhouse and you can push town towers very, very quickly if you are CDEC. IG certainly have a better draft. I just don't know if CDEC's going to give them any time to get that Morphling where he needs to be.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's that issue of timing with IG. Morph Shaker, Morphling in particular, takes a while to come online. And up against this lineup from CDEC, we saw it in game 2.
Uh-oh.
I'm not okay.
I like it. I love
That's
it.
one way to close out the draft. It works well against the TA. So Emo is going to be on his Husker. Down mid up against a TA. That should be an interesting one to watch out for. And it does look like it is a pause 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Right, they give JT the Shaker.
Alright, well, that kind of works, right? I mean, Karka's been rotating quite a bit. He's one of those more roaming pos 4s rather than stay in lane and, you know, just farm up a bit with your core. So, I mean, if you can get in the mid lane, get a decent cogs off, maybe push XM back on the TA, the Husker just has free reign with his Fire Spears. Obviously, the refraction's not going to be a problem for Emo.
10 seconds remaining.
And it gives you a way to fight. Like, that's the problem they had last game. They just had no way to fight in that early to mid game. This game they do. Do you have confidence, though, that IG's got enough in this draft?
Not quite. The biggest thing I have against this is that you still are buying time for Morphling in the end. And this 4P1 against 5, I think the 5 here of CDEC just look much better in terms of what they can get done earlier on. The slowest here they have is really that TA. You've got to wait for the Desolator and the Blink to be up for XM. But beyond that, you can do a lot of work with just these 4 heroes. I think I like their 4 heroes more if they are going for that route. It does come online faster. As long as Eve gets a good timing on that Dominator, that's going to be the key thing. It's not going to be on XM. It's really on Eve to get that momentum first in the lanes, to buy that space, and then XM gets secured farm in the jungle or wherever he goes. But you need your Lycan to be up and running first. And so we'll see whether or not CDEC can get that done. I feel like they can. Right, just from the draft, they should be able to execute it. They did so in game number 2. They're going to be coming in here with a slight morale boost, knowing that they have the Lycan back. And IG, they're forced to really shake it up. Emo Husker, I mean, I'm excited to watch it. I'm just not sure what to expect in terms of raw performance.
We're going to find out. The game has begun. CDEC versus IG. One more game between these two. Loser will go down to the lower bracket. Winner will go straight through to the grand finals, as there is only one slot for the minor to be taken this close qualifier. Of course, both teams would love to secure their grand final spot right here, right now, if they can. These drafts have become very interesting, to say the least, especially from IG's side. CDEC is much more standard, much easier to execute, one would argue. And we'll see how IG can contest. Of course, especially all eyes on this Kaka Clockwork and the Husker from Emo, just to see how they make these heroes work. Because especially the Clockwork as a POS 4, although it has received some popularity, and I mean some, I mean very slight as of late, really hasn't had that much influence. I mean, win rates have gone up in pubs, but these are pro games. These are a completely different story.
Yeah, they definitely are. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, look, the guy was one of the heroes that was kind of ignored at TI, and he just hasn't seen too much play for a long time now. You can be aggressive, though. Battery Assault does allow you to run around, just kind of posture yourself, and that does allow Kaka to grab the opposing rune as well.
Yeah, but here comes 1, 2, 3. Kaka. Looks like he'll be okay. They just assume he's run off towards that mid lane. CDEC don't want to waste any time. James, at least for now, is up at the top lane as the Shaman. And looks like he may stick around just for a little bit, maybe try to go for a kill. But no, he went for the Ether Shock, so he's going to TP back down bot, help out his core, and essentially just allow the dual lanes to run. The IG are currently running that tri-lane top, and they have not backed off quite yet. They want to try and find a first blood right here, right now on 1, 2, 3.
I mean, if they manage to corner him in a rough spot, they could.
Kaka does get the battery sold off. 1, 2, 3. Interesting TP location is going to end up paying for it, and IG should be able to find first blood, and they will. Kaka will be the one to pick it up on the clock. And that TP, I mean, you could have gone a little bit deeper for that, try to make it a bit harder, but he thought he could get away with it, and it just was not the case.
It's unfortunate for 1, 2, 3. He has to walk back into lane now. It's a good start for Kaka, really working this clock. You have to play with that aggression you can pump out with the battery assault if you go for it early. It's when you're strongest, because they really don't have as many tools to punish you for being so far forward. So I like seeing that coming out from Kaka. It does explain why they're running this tri-lane as well. They want that aggression to be constantly feeding them what they need. They need that good start in the Morphling. Kills around him do tend to help that.
They've kind of left JT alone, though, at this bot lane. JT has had a rough in a couple of these games now. Still, they have confidence he's going to be able to slow down Eve's farm on the Lycan. And instead, looks like the focus will be on XM in the mid lane. Ollie on the Lich is the one to rotate. Something I wasn't quite expecting at level 2. And, well, XM, he'll just go into the jungle. It's much safer for him there. Looks like top lane, Kaka, gonna be in a little bit of trouble. 1, 2, 3, gonna make the chase, but doesn't have any abilities to use. Kaka will just waste some time of 1, 2, 3 and walk away. So far, so good for IG. I mean, Emo, he's completely forced the TA out. In fact, XM hasn't even returned back to the lane. He's just sticking to the farm in the jungle.
I really don't blame him. The one strength of the Husker is, of course, finding those early kills. They do get 1, 2, 3 up top. And that tri-lane, the aggression with that Lich and Clockwork is just really strong. But going back to that mid lane, Emo, if he's not finding these kills early, he really has to find those last hits perfectly and hope that he can go around applying that pressure fairly soon. In fact, he's going to roam in the jungle. He doesn't want this to be happening. Drops a pretty deep ward to keep track of that farming pattern as well.
I like that. Great play from him. I mean, Emo, he's going to get level 6 very quick. Already level 4. Nothing's stopping him. He's just got free farm. You'll see Victoria rotate in as the Ogre, but he can't do anything. I mean, he's just going to get fire speared to death if he does come close. And once Emo's at that level 6 mark, he can just rotate into the jungle if he does find the TA on that ward. And in fact, he does see him right now. And just kill off XM. Like, there's not much he can do if he gets life breaked.
There definitely isn't. At this point in the game, this is when the TA is probably at its most vulnerable. So XM's not going to be able to get too much done. I wonder if they do notice this camp not stacking up. That does make the ward pretty obvious. So I expect a pretty early D ward from CDEC there, just to secure this jungle for XM.
Well, while you were talking about that, JT and Ollie do manage to find a kill onto James bot lane. Another nice kill for IG. That's going to make it a 0-3 now with a 1k net worth lead at 4.5 minutes in. Bot lane, Cuckoo again setting up on Victoria. They weren't quite able to find the kill, but just the pure aggression is really really wasting a lot of time and regen for the pretty much everyone off on the map. Especially in this off lane though. Kaka got battery sold up, is going to find Victoria, has cogs, and this should be a kill. Unless somebody TPs in to help out. I don't believe they will though, and Victoria's gone. Kaka now on a killing spree, and he's going to chase down 1, 2, 3 for that bounty rune. He won't chase any further as the bounty, as the battery assault does wear off. But now he's going to find XM. Victoria rotates. They do not chase the clock. Kaka will continue to be allowed to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's been pretty darn good with his aggression, forcing out some bad positions for CDEC, and they have been copying it for a bit. I mean, you already saw XM has to farm all across the map. In that jungle, they didn't actually D-ward that one ward, so he doesn't have the fullest access to his large camps, and that does make it a bit rough for this TA to really accelerate. Not even Brown boots up. Gonna have to finish those power treads into the Desolator this game, and that's just not fast. It's really not.
Well, Victoria's been caught out. The Clock Lich combination with the Frost Shield makes it so darn easy. That's 4 kills now for Kaka on that clock, and that Tier 1 mid tower is going down at about 6 minutes. So if you leave it alone, Emo's just gonna take over. That's exactly what he did. T1 gone. It is extremely rare you see a T1 mid go this fast. That is exactly what just happened though.
It's just such a free lane. There's really nothing CDEC can do in that lane to keep it alive for any longer. Emo has just completely taken over. He's rushing that disarm. So even if you get the farm up in your TA, it's not going to be doing as much as you want, because early Heaven's Halberd is going to be up in Emo.
Look at Kaka. Bot lane, trying to set up on Eve. He doesn't quite get there. Has his earn up now though, very early on the clock. That's going to make life even harder as Ollie getting caught out, but Kaka doesn't mind. It's almost the bait. Eve getting jumped on. They found Ollie on the Lich, and now, well, the Hex has come in. Life break is there from Emo. Eve still in trouble. He doesn't have level 6 for Shapeshift yet. He needs 1 creep to die. He will be out of range. He goes for the TP. JT, where's the cancellation? It's not there. He didn't spot him out. Emo will find James. on the Shadow Shaman anyway, but they didn't really get what they came for.
Yeah, it's a bit of shame they didn't manage to catch out that Lycan. And so Eve does get to live for another day. He's going to be pretty chuffed about that at the very least, not getting taken out there. Rather unfortunate. They had a soul ring up on JT. They did not opt to pop something like the slam just to get the stun off. It does cost them one big kill, though they might lose Fly.
Yeah, Fly's already strength morphing.
Radiant's bottom
Chances are he's not dying.
Yeah.
Thing is, CDEC will happily take that tier 1 top, but it will be for a trade as Victoria bot lane. TB, JT will be able to cancel off with the enchant, and now Victoria is going to end up dying very easily. And IG should be able to trade that top tier 1 for the bottom.
It's a straightforward trade. We'll see whether or not CDEC can apply more pressure. I believe they'd want to.
Well, the Shackles Hex are there on Fly. Now the Avalanche from 1-2-3, they're really dedicated to this. Wave 4 mount. Karkar's here with Emo, and well, it doesn't look great for CDEC anymore. They lose James once again. Fly will survive and shrine up. As long as you get those rotations coming out from IG, CDEC won't really be able to do much while this Husker's around. They jump in again, just for that dominated creep, and they will find it. Oh, nice 200 gold going to Emo.
Yeah, he has been completely on point with a Husker. This is really the power of that last pick, right? You can come out with something like this. The draft of CDEC is really just not tooled for this. And Emo has been really setting the pace here for IG. I have to say, there's something I find really hilarious. When he jumps in, gets the inner fire off, and there are cogs, and, you know, one of them's broken to allow them to go in and out, and you shoot them in the cogs, it just looks like billiards to me. It's kind of funny.
1, 2, 3. Cogged up. We'll toss away the clockwork at the very least, but they have the start and glaze on 1, 2, 3. He's still making the chains though. Avalanche won't really be great. Fly, we'll chase him down, we'll find the kill. I thought Karkar may have been in danger, but it was only Victoria on the Ogre. He'll have to walk out. That's a 1-9, 2k net worth lead almost 10 minutes into this game. CDEC, this is not the game they'd hoped for game number 3. As they are still waiting for XM to catch up on that TA, and he is still stuck in the jungle.
He's not going to be out there anytime soon, with the way his farm is progressing as well. So it's going to be a while.
JT finds James now. 1, 2, 3. Trying to go for the bounty. We'll be able to pick it up. JT won't mind. He'll walk out of there alive. Eve did make a rotation on the Lycan. Could have cut him off, but decides he needs farm way more than he needs an Earthshaker kill. And that is definitely the truth. He does need those Necro 3s up ASAP. Because they need to create some havoc in these fights. I mean, these are all just played out by IG standards.
They really do. This is a stark contrast to game number 2. You're not getting as much done around the map. CDEC really got to somehow find a way back into this game. They haven't. They need to clear a bit more of those tier 1s out. It's still a slow start for Eve this time. Second, third, and net were pretty much tied out for the morph, but
Eve gets startling gaze, chain frost, life break as well. He does pop the shapeshift, but it's already too late. And now hookshot Karkar, he will not connect on the tiny. Bit of a shame for him, but they get what they came for. They protect the tier 1 tower and they get back to farming. They know they've got that late game in the bag with this morphling. There is no rush for them. You look at Karkar, he just doesn't give up this man. He's got no hookshot. He takes the farm off your tiny. He keeps up vision for the team. CDEC, they are struggling to breathe. XM desperately trying to get the at least the Deso up. We'll have it in one Mithril Hammer, but he needs about 1.5k for that. And even then, while he can fight, he probably will just go for the farm on the Blink or BKB first.
yeah, the Desolator just speeds up that farm initially. You're not going to be able to gap close anytime soon to find those big kills. You could probably be tossed in. I'm not sure if that's a spectacular idea, though. tossing in your TA when she's under farmed like this, but it's an option if ever you need a farm. Oh.
Ollie goes down, but they're going to find 1-2-3 as a trade. Toss is there, but the Fire Spears will burn him out, and now Victoria trying to make a run. Kaka has the control. They have Life Break again. It won't be necessary, though. Emo finds a double. 7k net worth lead on this Husker now. And he's not stopping. He TP's back mid. He's not going to allow this mid T1 push to come out from the Lycan. No more ratting for the side of CDEC. And again, this dominated creep is going to just feed Emo some more gold. In fact, this time JT will take it.
It's a lot of gold being bled out here from CDEC. With their push strat, we are at 12, 13 minutes in now. The scoreboard 2-13, a 5k lead for IEG. This is not looking good for CDEC. This is a very, very different game from number 2. They really are relying mainly on the Lycan for push. We haven't seen any sort of forward wards from James yet. They just haven't been able to get themselves in position to translate to tower pushes from these fights, and it's down to IG setting the pace of the game, buying a lot of space for Fly to work up into his own items. Emo really just being active on the map. There is a smoke. They are circling around.
XM is going to be there, but, well, James has been caught out of the Shaman. Nothing you can do about it. And now a hookshot Kaka. He found the TA XM. That's a lot of damage coming out of XM, but it'd be worth the kill if they can find it. Startling Gaze, Chain Frost already out. Refraction charges up. Emo jumps in with the life break, and he is gone. At least he got the Deso before he died. That's a positive, right?
It is. It still doesn't quite give CDEC what they want. They still need to buy time for that farm, as they slowly lose heroes on the map.
Yeah, they found Eve now, but Eve will be able to get away. And Ollie just keeping such aggressive vision across that the Radiant side jungle. He should die for this surely, as the Avalanche toss is going to be there. Still, that Frost Shield is very frustrating, and this is buying time for Ollie to get some help in if they are coming in. But the tree throw will be enough from 1-2-3 to secure that kill. Four to 15, 4k net worth lead, IG. They're going to be able to secure 3 bounty runes here as well. That gold lead just going to be able to get higher and higher.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They've got all the items they'd want. In fact, they might jump fly, but there's an Echo Slam available with a Blink Dagger from that Earth. JT coming in. Emo is there. Shackles will latch on, but there's the Echo. JT with the setup. Everyone just melts. They might find Emo, but what does it matter? In fact, they won't even. Kaka with the blink. Excuse me, not the blink, the hook. A full team wipe.
I mean,
there's just nothing to say. It's surgical, John. It's a clinic.
It is, and I'm surprised CDEC opted to force a fight by that shrine. All the TPs were up from everyone. So that team fight was just never going to be happening in favor of CDEC. They tried to jump Fly. They didn't have the damage, of course. He's just way too tanky, morphed up. He turns into XM as the TA and just hides. Just melds in. You couldn't finish off that kill. They go to the Roche afterwards. How do you stop this coming out from IG? How do you buy enough time for your TA to be online, to be able to jump in and take these fights? How do you buy the time for Eve to finish Necro Trees when he's been stuck in Necro 1 for a very long time now as the Lycan?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
1-2-3 now. At least has a blink up on the Tiny.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Emo straight through the mid tier 2. Got at least one siege creep with him as well to help him out. CDEC, I mean, they're not really in position at all to try and defend this. They're going to allow it to go down. They don't want to deal with this Emo. Not with this Aegis on the Husker either. They'll at least find a bot tier 1. Eve will take care of that. Perhaps even a tier 2 if they have the time.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It will be a fortification. 1, 2, 3. He'll leave the bot lane to those creeps of the Lycan, because the tier 3 is apparently being pushed in. Hook shot though, Kaka will not connect. But Emo will continue trying to drag this tier 3 push out.
Is under attack.
Looks like he has had enough.
Tower is under attack.
And slow and steady is the name of the game. IG. 9k net worth lead now, 4-20 at around 18 minutes in. And it's slowly just building up. You've choked out the map, you can take control of the jungle. You leave no space for XM to farm, no space for Eve to farm. Eve, in fact, just has to desperately split push at this point. And there's just not enough on the map for CDEC to really get it going just yet. They need to find big solo target pickoffs, but IG's just always grouped up. They don't allow themselves to be split up, which means you're not going to find that early pickoff that you really need to start dragging momentum back your way.
Well, IG's smoked up now. Running straight through that Radiant jungle. They could just go mid. They know XM's there. They've got some nice vision on the high ground. And this is going to be terrible for XM. He gets Fissured Fly straight in there. He tries to meld, but he's dead. And that tier 3 tower now going to be going down. No one from CDEC is there to help out. Hookshot on Victoria. I mean, he was the only one. They're all TPing back one by one. The buyback there from Victoria, but why even leave? You still got the Aegis on Emo. Nice toss into the tier 4s, into the Hex. Serpent Ward's dropped, but Emo just walks out of there. They finally shackle him up. He's still so darn tanky. He just life breaks out.
Oh man.
He's still got the Aegis. He doesn't want to lose it. It's fair enough. He wants to walk out, wait for another day. But 4-22, 10k net worth lead. They're going to risk nothing. Their shrine's open for the side of IG to take. And we're not even 20 minutes in. Dota plus. 2% for CDEC. 98 for IG.
It's rough. They do manage to finally finish up that Necrobook tree on Eve. So he has those additional summons. He has the additional strength to maybe melt a tower. It's just that they're so far behind that he can't go up to a tower.
JT again on the TA. Life break there. He's been disarmed. He's got no way out. And if the TA is not farming, it's hard to see how they could come back into this game at this rate. Like Lycan, the only option Lycan has now is he's going to try and rat it out. Like,
There's just not enough on the map for you to rat. There really isn't. They even managed to find James out. JT just jumping around here.
Wi-Fi's just casually got an Aghanim Scepter. Necro 3 book comes out, but your mid-racks are going down. 1, 2, 3 tries to delay the best he can with the Tiny. Still, jumps in, toss again. Try to go once again onto Emo, but he just life breaks out of there. He has Aegis. Nice Chain Frost bouncing through Eve. He's in trouble. He gets cogged. Well, they're going to chase it as well, although he does manage to survive. Emo, the Aegis will be burnt out. But they've already found that mid-melee barracks. Eve doesn't have a way out. Life break. Emo does find the kill. In fact, Fly was the one to pick it up, though. They might finally find the Husker, but the Echo! Oh. JT comes in, cleans up. Is there going to be a GG call? Yeah, there is. Eve's had enough. 21.5 minutes into this game. IG will secure their spot in the grand final of these close qualifiers. And it wasn't even close.
Oh, it definitely wasn't. 5-28, 21 minutes in. A 12k net worth lead for IG. Spectacular performance from them. An absolutely amazing draft. They do manage to make it work quite well. A bit unconventional. The Clockwork making an appearance, but Kaka showing us why that hero can still be quite good in the right hands. He does make it work out quite well. CDEC, it looked like they were trying to go back to elements of game 2 that worked out for them. but not all the way. It's a weird mishmash of a draft. In the end, it doesn't hold up, and rather unfortunate for them, but they're not out yet. They just dropped down to the lower bracket, of course. And big props to IG for going to those grand finals straight up.
Well, with that, John, we have one final series of the night remaining, at least for today. Just having a look to see what the teams will be. Obviously, one of them is going to be Newbie, and the other one, of course, RNG versus Newbie. Yeah. We talked about that before. CDEC, they'll drop down to the lower bracket finals, which will be played, I believe, tomorrow. And in fact, yeah, I've just confirmed it is tomorrow. So, one more series, RNG versus Newbie. It will be coming up probably in about 20-25 minutes, as usually they do have a slight break in between these series. So, please be patient if you are willing to watch. Otherwise, it is MLP Dota and John X Fire. We'll be back with you in hopefully, 15-20 minutes to see how that next series goes. Won't be too long.